Welcome to Travel in Style, the series that brings you the very best of the best. We are on safari in Botswana, Africa, where we will visit 3 very different camps run by Orient Express Safaris: Eagle Island, Savute, and Kwai River Lodge. But first, the vibrant and colorful city of Johannesburg. This landlocked capital has seen troubled times in its past, but now looks to a bright new future, having regenerated many of the unused and derelict districts into art galleries, shopping malls, and squares with many trendy bars and restaurants. Rising to the demand of an influx of new world-wise visitors, there are many 5-star hotels, including this one. Sitting high on a ridge overlooking the city is the West Cliff. Since its opening in 1998, the West Cliff has become the place to stay for the discerning travelers in search of luxury rooms and fine dining. Set in a forest of purple jacaranda trees that bloom for a month beginning late September, the hotel sprawls its way through uphill gardens, rather like a quaint Mediterranean mountain village. All of the rooms and suites are unique in shape, size, and style, giving one the feeling of a luxury apartment rather than the more conventional rooms found in other hotels. In the rooms, you'll find candles in open hearth fireplaces, bouquets of flowers, and crisp Egyptian linen that's carefully turned down daily. These are just a few of the special elements that define luxury and set a true 5-star hotel well ahead of its less expensive competitors. But what makes a hotel really special is not the thread count of the sheets, but the friendliness of the staff. Welcoming smiles are hard to come by these days, but here they can be found in abundance. For you see, to be employed by a hotel of this caliber is a reflection of each individual's talent, all immensely proud and genuinely happy to be of service. For a delightful experience, take a walk around the property. There, you will encounter shaded gardens, hidden fountains, and summer terraces. You will also experience panoramic views of the jacaranda trees, which spread out like a carpet beneath your feet, and reach towards the Johannesburg Zoo. The zoo, which covers seemingly limitless acres, actually started life as a farm in the early 1900s. It was later developed into a zoo. In those early days, many of the animals were kept in cages in very poor conditions. Thankfully, those days are long gone, and today, the zoo's ethos is that of education and conservation. As our man Pete explains,
we want the animals to be as free as possible, to feel that, to have happy animals, you'll look at their weight, you look at how they look, they will look very nice. Then that is what the idea that's, we do not want to cage animals. We want to put them in areas that they are relaxed. They are not even aware that they are in enclosures. Small cages are not good. We will not want to keep animals in small cages. What we do is basically the zoo is we're getting animals into, we are zoning, putting animals according to the areas that they're coming from. And then in that regard, we mimic those kind of environment where those animals come. So that is the idea and the way that the zoo is taking in creating those kind of environment. We have the Central African areas, whereby when we want a person, when you walk in the walkthroughs, you see that you are part of the animals. You don't see them from a distance. You just walk next to them. You have that feeling that, hey, you are in a forest environment.
In the 90s, this city was ranked as one of the most dangerous in the world. But thanks to a more stable economy and some drastic measures by the municipal government that included closed-circuit cameras on every street corner, the crime levels have dropped substantially. Still today, common sense and care should be taken when sightseeing. As with any major city, avoid flaunting any wealth, such as expensive cameras and gold watches, and avoid straying away from the main public areas. In the evenings, the Melrose and Sandton are vibrant and safe places to visit, with many chic bars and restaurants. When in doubt, always seek advice from your hotel personnel, because concierge staff like Alwyn Hoffman are always in the know on where to go.
I'm often asked at the reception concierge desk, is it safe to go in Johannesburg? Well, I go in there every week, basically, to the post office, and I have a passion for the city. The Westcliff is located 5 minutes from the zoo, 10 minutes from the first shopping district, the gold mine behind me, the city centre with its diversity of buildings, and we also have the second biggest collection of Art Deco buildings in the city. You have the biggest man-made forest in the southern hemisphere, and it's thanks to our pioneers who came in early 1800 in search of gold, the landlords. They planted the trees across the road from us, and we're fortunate to have the trust who manages that, and we are told to build around the trees and not remove the trees. So we're fortunate for that.
The hotel competition here is stiff. How does the Westcliff compare?
This is a world-class hotel and meets up with the top 20 in the world. I would say across the board range of clients, ranging from your corporate client to celebrity artists, pop stars, even royalty. A good time of the year to come, I must be honest, would be end of October when the jacarandas are in bloom. And it's also start of our rainy season, and you have a dramatic silhouette behind you at night with the lightning and the thunder. And in the daytime, crystal blue skies.
Only in Africa is an electrical storm something to look forward to. This is the biggest light show on Earth and a regular occurrence that somehow adds an air of dramaticism to romance. In any case, if you'll pardon the pun, a storm like this will be over in a flash. This safari-decorated watering hole, the Polo Lounge, is ideal for pre-dinner drinks and is populated by both visitors and locals alike, as is La Belle Terrasse, a fine dining restaurant offering you the chance to try many South African specialties, such as springbok and ostrich, as well as providing one of the best views in town. It really is the perfect venue for a last meal in Johannesburg. The flight from Botswana's tourism capital, Maun, has taken just 25 minutes and has transported us into a wonderful world of wilderness to our first camp, Eagle Island. We will of course be staying under canvas, but these are no ordinary tents. Going on safari remains at the top of many people's travel wish list, although it's not generally noted for being the easiest of vacations. But staying in comfortable accommodations like this, mixed with the best wildlife that Africa has to offer, should guarantee some world-class experiences that will stay with you forever. These tents are of course fully air-conditioned, with 4 poster beds, crisp linen, mosquito nets, a fully stocked minibar, and ensuite bathrooms with his and her sinks. What more could you need? Apart from, of course, a heated plunge pool with views across the hippo-infested marshlands. The camp actually sits on the island of Kakaba and overlooks a lagoon fed by the delta itself. A great way to get really close to the nature in the lagoon is by Makoro, where you can be propelled silently through the waters of the Okavango. Although beautifully scenic, great care has to be taken not to get too close to the hippos, who are actually very territorial and dangerous creatures, and don't take kindly to tourists invading their space. The lagoon is alive with creatures of all shapes and sizes, from small frogs to crocodiles, and wading birds to elephants. So while the guest's safety is always paramount, taking a ride in Makoro remains a somewhat risky but unforgettable experience. Botswana-born Anks Manga is the group's senior guide and environmental manager. He loves his country, and so is always keen to share his enthusiasm and knowledge.
Botswana is the last wildlife paradise, and at times of the year, like this time of the year, November, December, Botswana is the best wildlife area in the whole of Africa. And you've got the Okavango Delta, you've got the Chobe, which has the largest population of elephants in the whole world, actually. We're talking about around 120,000 elephants, and the only zebra migration in the whole of Africa. And I think that's what makes it such an amazing place. I mean, the Okavango Delta is an ornithologist paradise. In that area alone, you pretty much find more than 100 different birds in one day. Yeah, it's just an amazing place for bedding.
So if you're into birds, you'll love it here. The variety and color of these creatures is quite breathtaking. Hornbills look down on the large and ponderous saddle-billed storks, while spur-winged geese waddle under the watchful eyes of a brown snake eagle.
Eagle Island is deep in the Okavango Delta. It's a very well-known water activity kind of camp, and but it's actually one of our special camps because you can do pretty much everything. You know, you can do mokoros, you can do boats, you can do walks, and you can also go on a helicopter and see the Okavango Delta from an eagle's point of view.
This is the only camp that offers this exciting way of viewing game. A 45-minute trip is included as part of the package when staying on Eagle Island. Our pilot today is Krent Garment.
The main difference with the helicopter and the game drives and the boats is it just gives you that extra dimension. You're above things, so you're not limited by the grass or the trees or the like, and you can see so much further, if you know what I mean. And this helicopter's got very good visibility, so you can get above things, you can just get an overall bird's eye view of what's going on rather than from the river or from the vehicle. With it not being a zoo or a game park out here, it is kind of pot-like, but you do see a lot. On a normal trip, obviously a lot of the plains game animals, the impala, the lechwe, zebra, giraffe, elephants, hippos, crocodiles. A lot of days we get lucky, we see lions, leopards, the odd rhino every now and then, but if it's out there, we're probably going to see it. When people do climb on board the machine, they don't know what to expect, but once you sort of take off and get moving, and we give them a proper briefing, yeah, they realise it's very gentle, it's very smooth, and it's not quite what they expect, and most people come back with a big smile and just want to go again.
Sadly, it's time to leave this lush green camp of Eagle Island. We are flying to new hotter and drier conditions for our next camp, the Savute Elephant Camp in the Chobe National Park. The wonderful sound of an African chorus greets you at the arrival of every camp, as a choir of chefs, maids, gardeners, and guides sing soulful local chants of welcome. Perhaps these are the magical moments of Africa. Its people are undoubtedly the soul of this country, as reflected in their music. Memories of helicopters, plunge pools, and lovely rooms will soon be challenged by memories of these happy, earnest people who are simply intent on making your stay as enjoyable as possible.
Savute is a very specialized camp, I would say. It's a dryland camp, and it's based in one of the driest part of Botswana, which is southern Chobe. But as you come down south here in Savute, you get to the driest part of the Chobe National Park.
Here, the pools offer a grandstand view of a temporary man-made watering hole that seems here to stay.
A water hole in a place like Savute was originally meant to rescue the animals which were dying during the drying up of the Savute Channel. And so temporary water hole was set up because we thought that was going to be a very temporary situation. So we thought next season the river is going to be back, and the river never came back. And because you have set up a water hole already, you have to keep it going. I mean, if you sit in there at the swimming pool and watching that water hole all day, you will see very interesting behavior. In elephants, size matters a lot. You know, the bigger you are, you know, the better. And but the behavior changes completely when a female arrives. You know, and in elephants' social structure, females rule. So the females would arrive, the males would have to move, and the females would walk in straight and drink. But if it is a young elephant coming in, they won't allow, male elephants won't allow a young elephant to drink.
The Chobe National Park covers 11,000 square kilometers. The Savute region itself covers almost half of that. The region is home to a huge range of wildlife, with big game, water dwellers, and bird life, all vying for your attention. So it's important to use your time wisely. Reading through the guest comment book, you can't help but notice that many guests return year after year. Some have a favorite camp that they will save till last to visit, but interestingly, all seem intent on revisiting all three camps. Even though every camp is very different, it's not just the animals and environment that changes in each location. It's the staff and the guides too. They're all so friendly, it's always sad to leave.
If you go down to Kwai, you find a river, the Kwai River. So if you travel through all the three camps, you cover the whole of Botswana.
We have actually arrived during the rainy season, which is a good time to visit, as the temperatures here can be extreme during the day. But the showers in the evenings can take the edge off the heat. Ah, just in time for gin and tonics before the late evening game drive commences. Perfect.
Oh, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, oh, yeah, yeah.
In Botswana, the rain doesn't stop play. On the contrary, it is welcomed by all. In fact, you can sense the excitement of the animals who play and frolic in the refreshing coolness of these African showers. Water is essential here. It is the gift of life. In Botswana, pula means rain, but pula is also a greeting, as well as a blessing. Rain is so important to this country, the Botswana currency is also called the pula, or rain. These showers not only provide life-giving water, but will also clear the dust and humidity from the air. Tomorrow will bring a fresher, cleaner, and greener environment. Hippos yawn as if to mark the dawn of a brand new day. Sadly, it's our last day on safari, so we have to set out early to enjoy one of Africa's most magnificent beasts, the lion. Our guide and tracker is a man called Leopard, and within just 2 hours of following tracks and paw prints, we find ourselves face to face with these magnificent cats.
This is pride of 6, and this is the pride that we see in the area too often. But we still also see them on the other side of Kwai River. We got one male, young male, and the 3, one is the mother, and then one of the youngest, she's the one, the mother of the cub, which is behind the male now. And this cub used to be 2, but one of them is missing, and we don't know what happened to that. The father, we don't see the father, but there's 2 male that actually goes in between the prides that we have around, but we don't see them too often. They do sleep all day. The hunting takes place at night mainly, and later in the afternoon and early in the morning. So this time now, which is like 8:36, we just lazing, lying down. That's the end of the hunting.
So, does Botswana make our world-class grade? We think definitely. With luxury accommodations, stunning views, and wildlife, we hope you agree that these trips really are unique. It's time to say goodbye to Kwai River Lodge. Time for one last glance at the somewhat dangerous yet comical hippos, and just enough time for a relaxing pre-flight massage. If you want a vacation where you just lie on a beach for a week and switch off, then this is not for you. That said, these trips are well worth going the extra mile. You get the chance to experience local cuisines, customs, and wildlife, albeit from the comfort of a swimming pool, 4x4, or even a helicopter. Well, that's it for now. Be sure to join us next time as we endeavor to find the very best in luxury accommodations from around the world.